The TTC Board going to be meeting later this morning, and it's very likely questions are going to be raised after thousands of frustrated Jays fans and other people just trying to leave the downtown struggle to get home after that Game 7 loss on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, really.
And CP24's Courtney Heels joins us live with more from Union Station. So a lot of these stranded passengers, Courtney, had to resort to, I don't know, Ubers to get home. There was really no other way. And you add that on top of the expensive Jays tickets and the loss. What a horrible night.
Yeah, pretty disappointing for a lot of people. And we do know the TTC is saying that they continued their service until about 2 o'clock in the morning. But many people have a lot of concerns, and they're sharing their criticisms over this post on social media that went out while the game was being played. This was during extra innings. We know the game was already going quite late on Saturday, Game 7. So all eyes were on the field, of course, if you're inside Rogers Centre enjoying the game, on TVs, at bars, restaurants, at Nathan Phillips Square, really anywhere. It was so busy downtown. And again, during those extra innings, while the game was still being played, this social media post went out. It basically said, we acknowledge that the game is still on, but transit won't wait. It went on to say that the GO trains would be leaving Union Station soon. The last TTC train was around 1:30 in the morning. So a lot of questions surrounding, well, if that game had gone into extra innings even later, say like 2 or 3 in the morning, as we saw happen during that series when one game went to as long as 18 innings, what would have happened? Would the transit have shut down? Would they have made other plans? A lot of people raising questions about that post and what the plan was. That includes city councillors, Councillor Pasternak sharing his concerns over all of this, Councillor Brad Bradford saying the decision is dumb. And we also spoke to Councillor Josh Matlow over the weekend. He said this is an issue he's going to be raising at the TTC board meeting. Here's more.
I want to understand, why was that decision made? The TTC says that between their transit control and the city's emergency management, they made decisions, but the standard shouldn't be an emergency. I mean, the reality is we had thousands of people out there, and we also should be focusing on their quality of life, their convenience, their ability to get home at least in a reasonable way, at a reasonable time after a really tough night for all of us. And I just don't accept the excuse that we couldn't have looked ahead, realized that these games sometimes end at 9, but sometimes they go to 18 innings. We should have been prepared. And I also want to make sure that the TTC and Metrolinx are working together between the city and the province to ensure that there's seamless service.
Now, the TTC is saying they were prepared. They had a command center set up downtown, so they had an idea of what was going to happen and how to respond. They also shared part of this statement. It says, we operated more than a dozen extra trains on lines 1 and 2, running until the end of scheduled service. The last trains left Union Station around 1:45 to 1:47 in the morning, with a line 2 connection at approximately 1:55 a.m. and total subway service continued for more than 90 minutes after the game ended, ensuring fans had time to travel home. But Jen, to your point, there may have been some fans that didn't quite make it given how late the game went. And then there was kind of that shock after the loss, right? People were literally just standing in the stands, kind of shaking their heads and soaking in what happened. So we are going to be heading over to City Hall. We are going to be at this TTC board meeting. We'll get a chance to speak with some of the councillors. And the chair, Jamal Myers, is also going to speak ahead of the meeting. And we know this is going to be a hot topic, right? There are a lot of questions over what the plan was if this game had gone even later and if what happened was acceptable. Over to you.
Yeah, I mean, there was just tons of frustration. I saw plenty of videos on social media afterwards. A lot of really irate, understandably irate and frustrated people. Courtney, appreciate this. We'll stay on this story all morning long. Thank you.